up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore. Yeah, that's right, boys. I drive Lamborghinis and wear t-shirts from the gas station. Buc-ee's. Dude, if you guys had never been to Buc-ee's, you gotta go and check it out. It's one of the coolest places ever. Anyways, today we got a 2018 GSXR 750 with a Taylormade exhaust system. Now, I know we have dynoed a bunch of GSXR 750s on the channel in the past, but this is one that we haven't had a chance to show this exhaust system. Everybody likes to see what the different exhaust sounds like. Everybody likes to see what the different exhaust puts out for horsepower. If you're shopping for exhaust, maybe this is one you've been looking at. You can go back in, watch the other videos on my channel with GSXR 750s and compare it to how it sounds with my camera in this room and how the horsepower numbers compare up. So anyways, this thing also had a Power Commander 5 and it had a ignition module, and the customer is using the ignition module for his quick shifter. So we're gonna leave the Power Commander installed, but we zeroed out the fuel map. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and show you what our baseline pull did. Show you how that thing did as it came in. With the Power Commander, with the downloaded map that the customer had installed, way too rich. Let's get into the details, guys. Guys, so the baseline pull 121 horsepower and 52 foot-pounds of torque. You can see here how it is not smooth in the top end either. That's because the bike is way too rich, meaning getting too much fuel. Now, that happens a lot with these downloaded maps from Power Commander. They're a generic map and they're going to be built as good as they can be for each bike, but it's not a specific map for that exhaust system a lot of times anyways. So we're gonna dyno tune this thing. We're gonna get some more power out of it, see what we can do. We're gonna remove all the strict restrictions from the ECU, the top end rev limiter. We're gonna keep the secondary throttle plates open. We're gonna make all that stuff happen, and we're gonna do it right now. I know. Cut now, start now. All right, guys, so we just did some pulls with our baseline ECU Flash after we cleared out the mapping in the Power Commander, and we ended up with 125 horsepower and 53 foot-pounds of torque. You can see we got gains everywhere. Let's go ahead and clear out the second run. You can see we got nice gains throughout the curve once we flashed the ECU. Smoothed everything out a good bit, but still too rich. So that tells me right there that this Taylormade exhaust is a little more restrictive. We put a baseline fuel map from a Yoshimura exhaust in there to start with, and that is still got it too rich. In other words, this bike has a pretty big muffler down here. Now, it's not a catalytic converter, it is a muffler, but that is proven to be more restrictive and not as free-flowing as the Yoshimura exhaust when we do our cat delete pipe, or an M4 exhaust with a cat delete pipe requires even more fuel. So Magic Mike, he's back at the controls today. He's gonna be doing some changing on this fuel mapping, see if we can get this thing dialed in. Watch and see what the gains turn out to be. why these GSXR 750s gain so much power with the ECU Flash, even when we're not using the power commander. You can see this table here, secondary throttle plate opening. So you can see here when we get to 13,000 RPMs, the bike cuts back to 78% power. So even though you're 100% throttle here, the bike goes 100, actually the highest it ever goes is 94.5%, and then it cuts back to 78% at 13,000. These bikes, when we bump the rev limiter up, is 14,800. So that's almost 2,000 RPMs early that the bike is cutting back the horsepower. That's why these things gain so much. You see that's in 5th gear. When we go to 6th gear, pretty much the same thing. When we go to 1st gear, look how long it takes for the throttle plates to go wide open. So even though you're 100% throttle, let's just say it's 6,000 RPMs, it's still the secondary throttle plates are only open 51% of the way in a stock map. So we're able to change that stuff and really make a big difference in the power and the power delivery of this bike. Not only that, we can disable the stock O2 sensor. We can disable the exhaust valve so there's no need for a servo buddy. We can lower the fan temps here to 195 degrees. And then we also have the option to do the disable decel fuel cut. That is what causes the popping and gurgling going on when you slow down on this bike. This customer elected not to go with that option. He said he didn't want the extra noise to keep his neighbors happy. So we did not select that on his bike. This is just a stock map that I opened up here to show you the differences. But man, once you tune these things, there's really a lot of stuff going on that we can disable and get more power out of these bikes. We're almost done tuning this one. We should have the final numbers coming up here in a second. Okay, so we just finished up with the tuning. We ended up with 128.24 horsepower. We did get 129 one time you saw on the screen, but that was more of on a glitch. This is a perfect pull and it duplicated this run several times. You can see overall huge horsepower gains. 7 and 8 horsepower gains on a 750 is a very noticeable amount. You can see even here in our torque section, we gained 3 to 4 foot-pounds of torque throughout the whole entire curve, which is really solid as well. And we're able to hold the RPMs longer with our extended rev limiter. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Be sure you subscribe, click the bell for notifications if you enjoyed the content. That way you don't miss out on the next video we do. Smash that like button. And as always, guys, we appreciate you. Hit us up, moremafia.com. Support the channel, get yourself some merch. We got hats, shirts, stickers, t-shirts, whatever you need. And ECU Flashes if you want to book yourself a Dyno tune with that man, Magic Mike. Hit us up, moremafia.com. All right, guys, see you next time.